Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I want to talk. I want to inform you that I am doing a video on Anakin Skywalker to kind of not necessarily finish the lore series that I was doing with Luke and Han and Leia, but just to give background to what their struggles were really all about. Um, so, but I'm in the middle of editing it right now. Well, putting the pictures together. But I do want to talk a little bit about Chuck Wendig in the aftermath of him being fired. Uh, First off, it's hilarious to know that now the giant NPC at MakingStarWars.nut is now calling for a boycott of Star Wars comics because their buddy Chuckles got canned. $2 Chuck. And the irony cannot be lost. First off, these guys were the ones that screamed and yelled at us for boycotting Solo. Okay, so now they want to boycott all the comic books because Chuck Wendig got fired. Well, guess what? It was all Chuck Wendig's fault. He has been bat crap crazy freak on social media for a long time. I mean, his Twitter is just full of hate speech to people he doesn't agree with. To Star Wars fans, he didn't like The Last Jedi, which is, if the Rotten Tomatoes score was actually being honest and they counted no stars and 1 star, probably about 24% of people actually liked it. Chuck Wendig is one of those 8% of the actual people on the planet that could call themselves progressive. He went into martyr mode and saying how nobody at Marvel liked the fact that he, or in Lucasfilm or whatever, didn't dislike the fact that he introduced LGBTQ whatever characters into the series. And it's like, Chuck, the fact is you did it to virtue signal, okay? You see, you're not a fan of Star Wars. You're an activist. You aren't creative. And oh, by the way, I like really good writers, and you are definitely not on the par with Orson Scott Card, A.C. Crispin, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Ernest Hemingway, Tom Clancy, you name the novelist throughout the history. Herman Melville, Daniel Defoe, Henry Fielding. I mean, Mary Shelley, Bram Stoker. Shut up, Chuck. Okay? This is a guy who can't use tense right. And, a friend of mine said it was probably just some, popular with the glitterati. It sucks. I don't care if it's popular. If you can't write something that's coherent, that makes sense grammatically, you do not need to be writing any novels. You need to go back to class and take English classes. 101, grammar, remedial writing, okay? God. And then, of course, there's the ham-fisted virtue signaling. Here's the deal. There are ways of introducing a character like that you don't hit people between the eyes with it, okay? Again, you're not a Star Wars fan, okay? You're an activist, Chuck, okay? And your fans, Jason Ward, his wife Amanda, and the rest of your little, your little Looney Tunes crowd over there, they're all activists too. They're not fans. If they were fans, they wouldn't like your writing because they would see it as a joke. And it is. Okay? There you go. Okay, so we got that done. Now, what does this firing mean? Oh, we gotta talk about the irony. The irony that these people um, are boycotting Star Wars comics now is hilarious because remember, like I said before, they bitched at us for boycotting Solo, but now they want to boycott comics. It's hilarious. It's like, okay, okay. So what does it mean? Well, we know that Kathleen Kennedy isn't just the only person responsible for this catastrophic failure of Disney Star Wars. Uh, she has had help. When she came in, she fired a bunch of people and brought in her own crew. And one of them, the head of the story group, was named Carrie Hart. Carrie Hart is very quiet. She may have a media account. We don't know. She may have a social media account. I don't know. I haven't looked for her. But she is the reason why Rian Johnson got hired. She is the reason why his first script, without any rewrites, got passed up to Kennedy and blessed with, okay, you can go with this. She is the reason why guys like Chuck Wendig got hired to write novels. She is the ultimate reason why creepy weirdos like Claudia Gray got hired. Daniel Jose Older and a bunch of other people. She is probably, who can I, like, let's put it this way, she's the Dark Apprentice to Kathleen Kennedy's Darth Sidious. And I'm not talking about Vader, I'm talking about Dooku or somebody like that. She is a bad person. And she is ultimately, right now, the one who is probably wondering what she's doing at Lucasfilm now. Because obvious to me, and I've talked about this with my buddy in the business. It's obvious to me that she's been put to the side, that she doesn't have any power. She couldn't protect Two-Buck Chuck. Can't protect Two-Buck Chuck. What does that say about your job? What does that say about where you stand with the company? You know? And what does it say ultimately about Kathleen Kennedy? See, this is the thing that everybody's missing. Okay? Because he was brought in because they were there. Alright? Because they wanted somebody like that writing novels for Star Wars. And now, he's fired. And they're not going to bring him back. No matter how much the NPCs, aka SJWs, but now we're calling them NPCs now, no matter how much they bitch and moan, okay? Comes a time when the people screaming the loudest just get put in the crying room and the door shut so they can scream now and no one cares anymore. All right? No one cares anymore. So, you know, I expect to see more. I'm going to give you guys some advice. This is from me. Practice watching things that happened in Washington, D.C. And this rule does apply to business and Hollywood. Watch the news on Fridays. Now remember, people get fired on Fridays. Two-Buck Chuck got fired. So, we'll see what happens. Okay? You know, they announced that Johnson's contract gets bought out and he's no longer making his trilogy. That would be some big news. And that could actually end up being buried in the news. And honestly, when I think about this, it's almost like it was a trial balloon to see what the reaction would be. And so far, the reaction has been positive. I mean, for Disney doing what they did. And I'm going to say this. It wasn't the editor, Panici, who called Wendig and saying he was firing him, that got the ball rolling. I know for a fact Disney watches what people say on Twitter. Okay? And despite the fact Wendig blocked me, I got all the screenshots and I sent them to Bob Iger, to Kevin Feige, to Marvel, as we all did. Um, and there's actually some other people out there around that have been threatening the next guy that gets this uh, Vader comic and the novel, saying that they were going to make his life a living hell if this person took the job, and that got sent to them. I really honestly think these threats are meaningless because the overall reaction from the fans has been very positive from what I can tell. Um, you go look at making Star Wars nuts video on it, and the dislikes are tremendous compared to the likes. I mean, people are happy. Wendig is gone. Who's next? Okay. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to make a comment on that. Gonna go back to working on my video on Anakin Skywalker, and you all be good. Like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for more content, share away, and we'll see you around the galaxy.